everyone flames me for my lack of knowledge, but I would assume that if you're
Oh,
going,
okay, so
oh,
it's
it's
Conqueror.
Conqueror. Now I believe it is the Gore
So
Drinker.
the Gore Drinker, a lot of
Yeah.
ability has fairly tanky. It's quite interesting. It's a lot of fun to see. It's pretty fun to play as well. So I'm expecting to see that wreak as much havoc, put those big evolved W slows on people, and just be that big nuisance. And it pairs so well with the Corki because you drop that slow on him. I'm not quite sure on the number, but it's bloody huge. And then you can follow that up with a big one that pretty much cannot miss. It's a pretty ruthless duo. It's oh, I have nightmares of ARAM Kazakh's W with Dark Harvest. It's oh,
I also
painful.
want to highlight something, which is a look at Dia 1's rune choice. He's gone for the Unsealed Spellbook.
Yeah, so looking to have a little bit of lane safety probably against this Kha'Zix with the heal, but wants the ability to switch it around, get the teleport, be able to utilize the roam potentially even better. I'm not sure. I feel he's decided that he probably will lose the first strike war up against Corgi, but definitely wants the inspiration tree, so that's his reasoning. And it's just okay, early level 2 for GAM. That kills a lot of the early pressure of the Tristana, and that should mean lots of bot lane control for the side of GAM, and with the Kha'Zix heading towards the spot side, this could set up for a good early skirmish for the side of GAM if they can catch out DNK greeting for a crab.
Both junglers having started on their top side, so as you mentioned, Marby, we'll be seeing them contesting over that bot side Scuttle Crab. So far, things are looking good for Kiaya in the top lane right now, but it is still just early stages in this game. Now, DNK looking towards the bottom lane. They go in instantly to start. Flashes out of the grand entrance, so the focus now shifted
Oh, good
onto
step.
B, down to half health. Exhaust onto DNK. Levi is making his way down, and Starlingam are now looking to turn the skirmish back around. Jumps in, Celebrity flashing away. Focus turned onto Levi. Style still throwing out the arrows. Throwing out the spears, doesn't have another rend available, and there aren't any kills picked up in the bottom lane.
Yeah, good sidestep from DNK makes that whole play a little bit worse for the side of GAM, but he's going to walk into Carti, and Carti, once again, a little bit out of position, but the Valkyrie will save him. Oh, but he walks right back into the stun.
DNK is looking for this. He's feeling this. Style is nearby as well. DNK is going to eat a lot of damage. Dire 1 nearby. SBTC 1
he
in
missed!
the fight. Headbutt Pulverize comes in. Grand entrance. In jumps Celebrity. DNK will fall in first blood. Goes away of GAM. Celebrity left with nowhere to go. He doesn't get the jump resets, and it's 2 kills for GAM.
The flash stun misses from DNK, and it leaves him in the middle of 4. That turns it huge for GAM. Carti almost getting caught out, but he manages to bait DNK in, and that baits Celebrity, and that saves the whole thing. It's GAM with the 2-0 lead early on this time around, and this could be. Can they snowball it as well as SBTC could? Because look at this, Carti just overextends. He gets so low, but this flash stun, I feel cheated if I was DNK, because that looked like it should have hit on the
A great
screen.
flash
But
from Carti as well for the palette engage. Because if he didn't flash, if he gets hit up by that grand entrance and then Celebrity on top, that fight could go differently.
yeah, absolutely could have. But just narrow margins. Carti able to outplay this time. And it comes out really great for GAM. Everyone gets involved. Everyone picks up a nice chunk of gold for themselves. Except for poor Kiaya, of course. But his bank plank, he'll make his own gold. And
Very true.
it's a very, very good start. It's up to 1,000 gold lead at 5 minutes. If we can keep that rolling, that's very good news for GAM.
Will we see a game 3 on the first day of VCS Summer Split? Will GAM bounce back? We know how good this team can be. Hex Flash then from B, but it's not into the next brush. It's just into the middle of the lane.
So we're just going to see a little bit of return to normalcy. The early tier coming in from Carti means he can actually try and contend with the push pretty well. Of course, he won't be able to quite match the Talia, but the sheer output of Tilia's damage onto these minions at this point, but it will get him closer and closer towards that Manamune where he can then really start instant clearing the back line of minions. Just top wave, bouncing back and forth. Very even so far. Levi, he's realized he needs to set bot side pretty much constantly. Don't know if they spotted DNK, but gonna start up this dragon. Cardi, if they did spot him, Cardi's just playing bait, trying to waste time.
Well, Carti's being a pretty good at bait spectrum. More will not stun down Carti, and SBTC won't be able to find anything in the mid lane, while GAM are able to secure the first strike of the game.
Pick that up free and keep the pressure on as well. That's the most important thing. They can crash this next wave and look at this build up of CS that's already happening. It's pretty much 10 CS. There is a bit of a wave to collect from the side of Celebrity, but it's just a lot of pressure down from the side of this Callista. And they're actually using it. Iron Spike Whip to, of course, confirm Levi is going for Gold Drinker Kha'Zix. It's going to be very fun to watch. Lots of silliness in the backline.
Exactly what you wanted to see, Marby. Now, Dia1 has to be careful. Levi is hovering around, will jump in. That's a lot of damage onto Levi. Pulled under Dia1's tower, and Levi traded back. And Dia1 will be able to survive without having to burn any of his summoners.
The thing is about the good old Kha'Zix with this build is isolation damage, even without the evolved Q, is still a lot. It's you saw that right there when it just chunks out Dia1 very quickly.
Yeah.
But, you know, got caught on the backswing, and tower damage is insane, so that pretty much forces Levi back into farming and trying to heal up off jungle camps and just letting his lanes do the job of pretty much passively winning. That's what he really wants. He's behind the CS a little bit, but he doesn't care. He's made up for it in kills. As we see B roaming for Herald.
And that's probably one of the things that B was lacking as a support in Spring Split. Some of his roams, not quite as much of a roaming support as Taki. He was improving upon that towards the end of the split. And here in summer, looking to continue that trend, especially on a champion like Alistar that can have so much impact when you do roam around the map.
I feel the big difference, if we want to get into that, is a lot of bot lane. Well, bot lane was absolutely GAM's focus in spring, so B didn't have to roam anywhere. The team was roaming to him. That's where he needed to be. Whereas Hasmed, that's where a lot of the focus from Buffalo was. So Taki has to. But yeah, we're seeing B and Style roam up, make sure that the Rift Herald is uncontested. They come down and catch this wave. It's completely fine, well timed. Did not waste a cent. Did not waste a minion. And now we have a Kha'Zix with a Rift Herald just lurking, wondering where he can put it. Accelerating any of your lanes is a really good idea. So kind of spoiled for choice is Levi can go where the game dictates him to place it.
A 2k goal lead for GAM right now. It was sitting at just over 1k after GAM picked up those 2 kills from the jungle skirmish. And GAM are going to be able to extend that 2k goal lead even further after the Rift Herald gets dropped down. We've got a Drake in just under 2 minutes time, so maybe Levi's going to wait for that Drake to spawn before dropping down the Rift Herald.
Possibly. He's making his way back towards the spot side, it seems, so fairly reasonable to suspect that the Callista lane is the target, with just how much pressure you're almost guaranteed the charge to go off. But B lurking, taking his time to find some deep wards down, and this signifies to me that yes, bot lane is definitely the focus of the next passage of play, because of course, yeah, there is the dragon to always fall back to, but if you can grab this Rift Herald drop, crack open as much damage onto this tower as possible, then fall back to the dragon, that's pretty much the perfect amount of play, and here it is. Early Rift Herald, maybe almost too early, but no, it's going to get that crash.
Crashes onto the tower, picks up a couple of plates for the side of GAM, and now they are 2,500 1,000 gold lead clear of SBTC. SBTC, though, aren't down and out of it just yet. They still have all of their outer tower standing. We're still just over 10 minutes into the game.
Just lurking, waiting for someone to step a bit too far, because Alistair and Kha'Zix can make a very lethal combination if you walk face first into them. DK playing it very cool. Take his Raptors, back off and catch this mid wave. And let's GAM just call the reset, and they will be back in time for this dragon. No problem at all. But SBTC also pretty much on track to get there and contest that if they so desire. But I would not be surprised if they just let it lay. It doesn't feel like fighting is particularly worth it right now, especially for just that cloud. So yeah, they're just gonna give it up, try and farm as much gold off the map as they possibly can, and just wait for the next one, I suppose.
Well, they'll have another 5 minutes to wait then. What rift do we have? It will be a mountain rift, which I guess is a rift that both teams will be relatively happy to have. Probably more so SBTC.
A little bit of good, a little bit extra defense against the poke coming out from the Corki is always nice. But yeah, generally both teams are fairly happy with this rift. It's not particularly exciting either way. Talia loves the rift in general because she gets a few more walls to utilize her passive and run around quicker. But yeah, it's not particularly exciting, but it's powerful enough that it should incite a bit of violence in the next few minutes. We will see as top lane just... Oh, here's the dive.
And this is the dive that we were expecting from GAM. And GAM find a narrow window where Palette is not alongside Celebrity, and they abuse that window perfectly.
Yeah, they find him, they knock him down, and find an extra play in the process, and this should be close to finishing it off, but DNK will save that last plate. But that's a lot invested into the bot side, and that gives quite a bit of free time for Carti, who's just hanging out. He's just farming his coal. But in the top side, Enper has started to actually start winning this matchup. He's crashed. He's gotten a couple tower plates for himself. He's winning a lot of these health trades, and this Gnar is starting to look a little bit scary again.
And we saw what Emperor could do with the Gnar in the previous game. Trades on to Kiaya, who uses the citrus fruit to remove the scurvy, remove the CC, and Emperor is forced away.
Soft just wants to get that hard shove towards the tower before the back. Should reset with something nice for himself, getting closer towards that Triforce. Actually has that interrupted. So not going to have whatever components he was looking for this Rift Herald seems to be the issue. Whereas Gangplank has his full Triforce, he's more than ready to have an impact. But Gnar has just been left a little bit stuck on poor item choices. He should be able to find a back off this, but match that in time, but still delays where he wanted to.
So first hour of the game is going to be going the way of GAM. Style will pick this one up in the bottom lane. And I mean, for GAM, they're just continuing to extend their lead. SBTC not really willing at this point to fight into GAM. They're willing just to let the bleeding occur and just try to slow it down as much as possible. Do you think there's a specific point they're waiting for, any specific item breaks, and at which point SBTC will say, hey, now we're going to fight you?
Well, now they have mythics pretty much across the board, just Palette is missing. So this seems like a pretty reasonable attempt to a pretty reasonable place to try and contest. We see that with the positioning of Celebrity trying to make his way up, but it's quite a slow burn, so they should be able to fight this in time. Unfortunately, Palette ate a lot of damage, so he has to really pick his moment for an engage.
Weaver's Wall cuts off at Carti and Kiaya. SBTC don't want to use the opportunity to try to jump on the Rift Herald. Carti with that Valkyrie renders the Weaver's Wall useless, and in the end it's another objective going GAM's way.
Yeah, package just timing out as well. We saw Carti having that. Plus the amount of damage on Palette meant that the angle just really was not there for him to try and find that engage that they would have really wanted to start that fight off. So they just sort of sit around and end up watching it go down. And now that's second Rift Herald in the pockets of GAM, and they can look to utilize that to crack open the mid lane, maybe get a deep push onto a side lane if they need to, and then utilize that as a means of getting the deep vision in. But right now, Dragon should be the next thing on the table. Third Dragon can be conceded for SBTC, but you're at a pretty okay breakpoint with your first Mythics. They're not that far ahead of you. Actually, I say that, they are 4K, so they've quietly extended that pretty far. But I feel like this might not be such a bad time to contest. You guaranteed not to have the package from Kati. Kha'Zix, if you group up properly, has a bit less effectiveness. He can just try and utilize that. Maybe try and find a pick beforehand. You didn't blow anything in that Rift Herald scuffle besides the Weaver's Wall, and that's already back up pretty much.
And right now, both teams just roaming around, clearing out vision, setting up vision. We have a Mountain Drake. Rift Herald dropped down by Gammon. They're going to use this as an opportunity to try to start up on the Mountain Drake. Celebrity will clear the Rift Herald, and now he'll make his way over. Another Weaver's Wall that's going to box Gam on the side of SBTC. Fate's Call throws B in, and the focus is on Dwemper, who finds a massive Gnarl, but will it be enough? Seismic Shove comes through, and DK will fall as well. It was a great engage for SBTC, but Gam still find 2 kills for nothing.
It just wasn't enough. It was a perfect ultimate, great knockback, but the damage is not there. Oh, he might find a lot onto Levi, and this poke from DO1 is actually making this so dangerous. If they can drag the dragon out for safety, that is what they will do indeed. But the pain! You see such a perfect ultimate, but no capitalization. And GAM, they get 2 kills and walk away.
Up.
Where was Paulette? He's blown his flash. He's blown his ultimate. I didn't see him there.
We need this replay.
We're gonna have to watch him. Emperor comes in. He gets the big flash, so he must. Yeah, okay. Flash ults in, gets the 2. That got knocked back, but that's just it.
Just no celebrity.
No celebrity. Yeah, no celebrity.
You can't blame Celebrity either, because Celebrity was clearing off Rift Herald, then he had to work his way down, cut off by the Weaver's Wall as well, so he had to walk the long way around the Drake Pit. So maybe it's just a bit of miscommunication by SBTC.
Yeah, D1 pretty much needed to drop the wall, I think. But that's just not something you're really thinking about. And Paulette is able to get away. Rakan. Just Rakan things.
This is why I like playing Rakan in solo queue, because you can do dumb things where you get caught out and you can survive.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong ability for good old Rakan being able to dash 5 screens away very quickly. But yeah, it's good. It's more pressure down. It forces them back, and with this attention drawn to the top side again, Kati just gets to hang out in the mid lane, slowly push that out. He's quietly made his way to 2 items, and everything's just coming up GAM right now. It's pretty much the inverse of that first game. It's a lot less bloody, it's a lot more controlled, but that's just to be expected by the nature of the compositions. But it's the same feeling of choking out the enemy team, keeping massive jungle pressure down, and controlling the vision and controlling the jungles. Just keeping the options of the losing team very limited.
If SBTC can scale towards the late game, get a few items on Celebrity, get him to the point where he's stronger than Style, maybe in these team fights they can get back in. But with scaling, will also be Kati's Corki, also Kiaya's Gangplank getting stronger and stronger.
Also, we just saw the interaction there. I love Talia and Kalista. It makes her life living hell. You put down the minefield, and if she hops on the auto attack at all, she gets stunned. It's a fun one. So it's a little fun one for the Talia. Not so much for the Kalista, who cannot exist.
Well, I mean, when you think about Talia into this comp, it works great against Kalista, Alistair as well, Corki, Kha'Zix, 4 champions with jump/dashes. The Talia is very effective, especially if you get fights in enclosed spaces.
Yeah, it can absolutely do quite a lot of damage, and we saw that pretty much DO1 was able to chunk out so many members of GAM in that last skirmish. They just wasn't quite enough to convert those into kills. And it leads to where we are now, 7k in the lead for GAM, 5 kills, 3 dragons. And still so much standing on the map for them to take in terms of towers, that this gold lead can just explode open at any moment, especially if they can find their way onto a Baron.
The 7k goal lead now for GAM, and GAM are on to Soul Point. They have the Mountain Soul 1.5 minutes away. SBTC looking towards the mid lane, looking to get some tower bounty, try to get into this game, but look at Palette from the side. He goes in. The focus is on to Style, forced to jump away over the wall, but DNK is on top. Style just kiting back, but will eventually get shut down. Now there's a Weaver's Wall. In comes DR1, but will DR1 have the damage? It's a 3-man ult once again. Ember steps up. Celebrity jumping forward, flashes, jumps away again. Now they're looking for Carty. Carty will flash away, will be able to survive. Dio can't get the final auto off. Goes golden, but will die at SBTC. They got so close, Marby, but in the end, they lose 4 members and they only get 2 kills off their own. Now Levi looks for Palette. Levi will secure the ace.
That's huge from GAM. The wallets just end up making the difference there because SBTC did so much right, but it just didn't work out for them. It's an ace. They'll pick up this tower as well and extend the gold lead. It starts so well, but B here, he just comes in. He stalls so long with that 3-man knockup that Style gets to just keep going back. The exhaust as well onto Emperor to stop the range damage. Keep the kite going, and then just this Gnar ultimate. Unfortunately, Celebrity is just still quite a bit far away. He's able to get in to kill the Alistair, but he can't quite get out again.
Oh, Carty.
Somehow Carty does. I don't know.
It's a game of inches, isn't it?
That long.
I feel like the fact that SBTC are making this close, despite the goal difference, is a massive credit to them in this game. And I think for myself, and I think for most of the people watching, I'm thoroughly impressed with what I have seen from SBTC so far. And they are looking undoubtedly like a team that will be contending for a world's spot. Celebrity, though, gets popped. There's just too much thrown at him, and GAM will be securing this inner tower.
Those close fights are just probably not going to occur anymore because this extra shield that's come on down from the uncontested Mountain Soul. But now they can turn onto Baron. They found the pick onto Celebrity. There's still an avenue for SBTC to contest in theory, but I don't think the Gnar is in position. In fact, there it is, no rage at all. Like, it's just too much of an effort. It would take an absolute miracle knockback and shove from DR1 to get things done.
DR1 goes in, so does DNK as well, but they can't steal away the Baron. And both jungler and mid laner will die. Carty died as well somewhere, so it is 2 kills for 1 in favor of GAM. But SBTC always trying to make sure that they get something, even in these very tricky fight scenarios.
Yeah, a bit of a Hail Mary there. I can't really blame them. Hold that. That's a dead Celebrity.
Celebrity jumping away. Levi is on the chase. Fate's call, throws a B in, tries to jump away, but is unable to do so. Celebrity will get run down, headbutt pole fries. Emperor on the run, and GAM will turn 2 kills into an ace.
Yeah, but as I said, they went for the Hail Mary. It didn't work out. Yep. They were likely going to lose anyway, and this probably won't be the end, but it's going to be base broken. It's going to be the start of it. As GAM should very quickly close it out, but silver linings. Emperor did get his 8th solo kill onto the Corki.
Hey!
You know, slowly building that up. Off to a fantastic start, of course. And just need to see. And it's
44.
Just an auto attack away, but it does not work out. And yeah, they just end up running them down into the mid lane. A little bit of an overstep from Celebrity. So he's just kind of hanging out, trying to. Feels like a bit of a soft surrender.
This game.
Felt like a little bit of a soft surrender from Celebrity there. Just walk out like, hey, do your combo. And
I fancy myself some cow today, but I don't want to eat the cow. I want the cow to eat me.
hmm.
Weird
Yeah,
scenario
okay.
to be in, right?
I mean, I know there's a movie about sheep that eat people. I don't know if there's a cow movie.
Was that Silence of the Lambs or something?
No, it's Black Sheep. It's a
Oh, okay.
Kiwi comedy horror. Anyway, B is not amused at being shoved around by a pile of rocks,
No.
so he quickly headbutts Colette away.
He says, if you shove me, I'll shove you even harder. You know, it's a tit for tat. DNK looking to come in from the flank. Here comes Palette as well. Style goes golden. It's another 3-man ult for Emper. It's another Hail Mary for SBTC. But DNK will fall. Emper will fall as well. And GAM once again find 2 more kills as they continue to push in the mid lane.
I think we really just see these teams are very good as Cardi goes down. That SBTC, they wanted to fight, they didn't want to go quietly, but in the end, they will go as oh dear celebrity, goodbye. Goodbye dear 1-2 maybe.
Oh, dear
No?
one might be able to outplay this. No, the Void Spikes.
Okay.
Enough of a slow. And Levi seals the deal. Just Palette left standing, and Palette can do nothing except for sit in their fountain and watch their Nexus get destroyed as GAM take us to game 3.